Too often business owners today are focusing on the little things in business. They're ordering supplies, dealing with employees, and dealing with customers, when what we should be focusing on is the most important thing, cash flow. I've grown over 10 businesses from the ground up. In this podcast, you'll learn the ins and outs of building a business and how to build transferable value. And most importantly, you'll learn how to maximize cash. They call me Cash Flow Mike, and this is the clear path to cash. Hey, it's Cash Flow Mike, and welcome to the Clear Path to Cash podcast. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to do something just a little bit different. Normally, we focus totally on a small business owner, but I want to dig a little bit deeper. I want to connect to the small business owner just a little bit differently today, and I'm going to do it through your accountant. Yeah, there's a big push right now, a big change, big shift in the accounting industry where they're wanting to go more from transactional accounting, just doing your taxes, doing your sales tax returns, those type of things, and get more into what they call advisory services. And I'll tell you what, you need it, right? This is something that you absolutely need. This is something that we want in our lives because, well, everybody can see the numbers. I need you to help me determine what to do next, right? That's what we're talking about. Advisory services is just that, giving you some guidance and suggestions on telling you not only what the numbers say, but how do you improve your business. So I had the opportunity this week, and the reason I'm saying it's a little bit different, I had the opportunity this week to work with Mark Wickersham. That's right. If you don't know Mark Wickersham, he is an international influencer, right? He's based in Spain, but he has an amazing group, and the more I work with him, the more outstanding experience that I have, and the more I respect this man. He's got 3 books right now on Amazon. You can go to his website at markwickersham.co.uk, right? So Wickersham is spelled WICKERSHAM.co.uk. And I'll tell you, he is one of the guys, if you're going to price your value services, if you're going to value price your services, if you're going to work with advisory services, this is the guy to listen to. He's got great ideas. He's got a great following and just one heck of a good guy, right? When it comes right down to it. So I had the opportunity this week to meet with him and his group on Zoom, and we talked about advisory services and how to build that practice, right? Because I don't come at it from an accountant standpoint. I come at it from the business owner standpoint, right? Just the way I teach bankers on how to build their portfolio of business owners, I want the same idea to translate to actual accountants, right? So your trusted advisors is who we're talking about, being able to make it better for the small business owner through their trusted advisor network, right? And I coined the term relationship accounting, right? That's what I want people to think of it as. If you have an arrangement or you have an agreement with an accountant, it's not a short-term deal. It's not like you buy a burger and you eat the burger and you're done with the transaction. No, these are people that are in your life for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They see you grow your business. They see you interact with your customers. They see the highs, the lows, everything about it. You're exposed to them. So it has to be a relationship. What I showed them this week was what I call the client migration strategy, how to attract somebody like me and move me up the value services chain from just wanting and expecting some bookkeeping tasks to really getting valuable advice from them. So in today's episode, what I'm going to do is show you that presentation, right? If you're on the audio version, you're going to hear the audio, but it still walks through. You'll see step by step the way I pronounce or the way I put it out to the accountants. If you're on YouTube, you get to see the actual slides, right? The slides that I use to present. So this is more content today than usual. This is actual teaching you something about a strategy. And if you want to follow along, you can go to elevatebusinesstraining.com, elevatebusinesstraining.com. At the bottom of that webpage are 2 downloadable guides, 2 guides that I've written in the past. One is about client migration strategy. The other one is about forecasting by the numbers. So if you're interested, it's a lot of reading. One of them 16 pages, and the other one's 32 pages, but they're great documents to help you get started. They're free. Just download them and go, right? Not even an email address, not even ask you for that. Just go to elevatebusinesstraining.com. And speaking of, here's my sales pitch, right? Follow me on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google. I love to hear from you guys. I get a lot of feedback from folks out there in the world saying, I heard this episode, I heard that episode, have more questions, maybe even want to be on the podcast, right? If you're somebody that has a good story to tell that you think other business owners can take advantage of and benefit from, man, contact me because I'm always wanting to talk to people that are out there solving big problems for the world. So with that in mind, let me introduce you to Mark Wickersham. He's not live. This is a recorded version. But Mark Wickersham and I, we talk about client migration strategy.
Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and I tell you, I'm always excited to be with Mark, right? And I tell you, this is my first time working with Kathy, but Kathy, you probably don't know this. I am a longtime fan, longtime customer of Palo Alto software, right? I was the guy that bought the CDs way back when, and now I'm still a live plan customer, so it's awesome to go and work with you as well. What I liked about what Kathy closed with was grow or evolve or die, right? And that's where I want to go to. And we didn't even plan this, but I think it's a good segue and it goes on top. Now, unlike her, she can just rattle things off from the top of her head. I have slides because I can't, right? I need a guide, right? I mean, I hit 50 years old and all of a sudden I need guides to help me through this stuff. And I'm going to tell you what, even though I got slides, you don't have to take notes because I'm going to talk about the client journey, right? The client journey being an advisory services. And I've written a 16-page guide, a PDF guide on this. And if you go to elevatebusinesstraining.com, it's down at the bottom. Just download it for free. You have all the notes that you need. You can kind of follow along with what I'm going to go to today. So I'm going to talk about client migration because, again, over the last 21 years, I've built 12 companies in the middle of building one right now. And what I do is advisory services. That's what I've done for quite a while now. Is that advisory services. I built actually the Clear Path to Cash, which is if you don't know where to start, if it seems fuzzy, if it seems like you don't have a process, you don't have a method. The Clear Path to Cash is an 8-step process that maximizes cash in any given business situation. But what I want to talk to you about is how do you get somebody on that track, right? How do you get them into your advisory services, and what does the journey of your life together look like? So I put it together in just three simple stages, right? That's what I think are the stages of the client journey. It's you being able to attract them and engage them in this type of service. So I'm going to talk about that. Your migration strategy. I actually have taught the migration strategy to bankers over the last 15 years, thousands upon thousands of bankers about migrating the right customers up the value chain. And I want to talk about what that means and what it looks like and how you can do it. And then lastly is the advocacy building, building your champions, right? The people that can help you grow and expand and really champion your services to others, right? So that's what I'm talking about is that client journey, moving from that first engagement all the way through the actual being a champion where you have an expanded sales team, working for you. So let's talk about attracting and engaging, right? Again, people buy from people. I'm convinced of that more and more. They buy from people. They don't buy products. They buy because of you. They buy because they want to do business with you. So they need that relationship. They need that working with you, right? So they buy people, not products. But in order to do that, you have to build a relationship. So, I've been using the term lately, relationship accounting. That's really what advisory services is, right? It's that relationship accounting. So, and I'm going to give you just a snippet of thought that my dad told me a long time ago was, Mike, people don't care what you know until they know that you care, right? And I'm going to tell you that's how it starts. My first interactions with my CPA and my accountant were poor, right? Because they were great at math, but they couldn't tell me what to do next. That's what I want you guys to be able to do is say, here's what you do next. How do I turn that ratio into an action? And that's what I want you to work with. But I don't trust you, and trust is the evidence of integrity over time. If I don't trust you and we don't have that relationship and I don't know that you care, I'm not going to listen. So those are the things. You have to be somebody that can connect to people and people instantly know that you care about them. And then lastly is enrolling the right clients. It's a numbers game, but it's the right numbers game because not everybody needs what you sell. Not everybody wants advisory services. Some people just want their tax return filled out. Some people just want their sales tax paid every quarter or every month. That's not the people. You want the people that are really actively engaged in enrolling in your advisory service program. They need that guidance. They want that little guardian angel on their shoulder, and that's who you can be. Now, what I've got for you, if you go to my social media, Cashflow Mike on Facebook or whatever, just follow and kind of send me a message. I have a free course. It's called the 9-step enrollment process. It's 9 questions you can ask to help find the right client, right? Because it puts them in the mind frame of, are they willing to do what you're asking? Are they willing to work with you or is there a lot of resistance up front? You want to work with the clients that are already open, and I built kind of a questionnaire for you to use, and it's in video and template form. You get that for free. Here's the second stage to me. That's that migration strategy. All right, so you've already attracted them. You've given the engagement. They've signed on the dotted line. They've put you, in front of them from being a business advisor. What do I do next? Because I still have all my other clients, right? I may have 35, I might have 50, I might have 100 clients. Not all of them are going to go with you. Migration is an up or out. Yep. I know you just said, I think you just said get rid of clients. I did, because there are some of them that are going to drag you down. If you've ever heard that statistic, you spend 90% of your time with 10% of your clients. It's true. You're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to evolve. You're not going to be able to scale and provide the right value to clients unless you have a process and you're working with the right people. That's where you see corporations do this, banks do this. It's an up or out strategy. And I'm not saying fire clients. You can, but I'm not saying fire clients. What I'm saying is don't waste your time with the folks that don't get it, right? Do your compliance work, do your transactional work, but don't try to convert them and waste your time spinning your wheels on folks that don't want to do that. So how do you figure out which ones they are? First of all, you have to build that ideal client persona. Who is it? If you have some folks already that you're working with, build a persona about what they are. Is there a size company that they have? Is there an industry that they're part of? Is there a number of employees? What is it about that person that makes your relationship with them so successful? And what you're doing is identifying a sales scene, right? And I talk to my sales team all the time about this. What's the sales scene? And the sales scene is someplace where your services fit exactly and you can exploit. You can ignore a lot of the other folks who just aren't going to buy what you're selling. But that sales scene is where you're going to just swim right down the middle and be able to hit home runs all day long. But you have to identify who that ideal client persona is. Secondly, is being able to bundle your services for that ideal client, right? So what are the bundled services that really make that relationship fit? From your compliance work all the way through your advisory work, what's the bundled package that works, and sell that to them? Because what we're trying to do is build up, again, that retainer, that monthly recurring revenue. That's where you actually are starting to have a process. You got people that are following the process and the money's coming in on a regular basis. And you're finding technology and process that matches, so you don't have to work as hard. You're letting some of the technology and some of the process do the work for you. And then lastly is migrate up the value chain, moving people into your advisory services. And the way you do that is by focusing on that relationship. You have to go back to what attracted them, what engaged them, and it's you. Believe it or not, people buy people. And you have to figure out and be kind of a chameleon. Now, if you've ever seen me teach the social styles model, what that is that a successful accountant has to be a chameleon. What I mean by that is you have to match the social style of your client. That doesn't mean change your personality. That means if somebody has a driving personality, you got to treat them the way they like to be treated. Talk to them the way they like to be talked to. If they're amiable, if they're expressive, if they're analytical, all of those have different styles in which you approach them. I'll just give you an example of a driver. The way you deal with a driver personality, that's somebody that has a task and a purpose. The way you deal with them is with the 3 B's, right? Be bright, because they like smart people. Be bold. They're not afraid of confrontation or making decisions. And be gone, right? Don't waste your time. So be bright, be brief, be gone. That's how you're going to do it. Now, how do I get rid of that bottom 10%? The ones that are dragging me down, the ones that I spend all the time with, but I don't get the value. They're just sucking up my resources. We have to find ways to provide them what they're looking for without taking away from your time. In the banking world, they just don't call on them as much, right? They don't do a lot of proactive work. They still just do the transactional work, and they just do the things that keep the customer relationship happy, but they don't spend a lot of time there. Maybe that's a strategy that works for you. So that's stage number 2 is the migration strategy, moving up or out. Okay, the last one is building your advocates, right? What does that mean, right? So, and I tell you, it starts off with one bad experience. You know yourself, one bad experience hurts the customer relationship. And what's funny about that is, if you're like my grandma, When she has a bad experience, she doesn't tell the person she has a bad experience with. Sometimes you don't tell the company that they did something wrong. You don't tell the banker that they did something wrong, but they'll tell everybody else. She'll go to bridge club, she'll go to church, she'll go to the neighbor's house, and she'll tell everybody what happened. That one bad experience can actually hurt the relationship. So how do you solve that? You have to solve the problem, right? You have to address it head on. You have to actually get involved and solve it. And that's how you maintain that relationship or overcome it all the way. The other one is that people love connections, right? The reason why we're a group together, the reason why we work together is that we love to be connected together. We're people that believe the same things. We're people that want to work the same way. So if you build that connection, people are going to love that and want to be part of that culture. And then lastly is deploy your champions, right? Put them out there, put them out into the world, talking about your products, talking about your service, ask them for your help, but deploy them, use them as references, and you'll be able to build your advocacy base. So, Mark, I'm going to close with that. Again, if you follow me, I'll send you my 9-question enrollment course for free. If you want the free guide, it's at elevatebusinesstraining.com. Just download it at the bottom. And if you want to talk to me, hey, open to anybody, open to all questions, comments, concerns, moans, groans, gripes, complaints, or otherwise. Just Mike at elevatefinancialtraining.com. So, Mark, I'm going to turn it back to you, buddy. I appreciate all the time.
All right. Hey, welcome back. So that was myself and Mark Wickersham. We talked about the client migration strategy. So I just want to remind you, if you didn't go download that guide, it's still at elevatebusinesstraining.com, elevatebusinesstraining.com. If you want to learn more about Mark Wickersham, go to wickersham.co.uk. That's right. Get all of those things. And don't forget, subscribe, right? Go to YouTube, subscribe, go to Spotify, Google, wherever you're getting this information from, subscribe, and then be notified, right? Click to be notified when new episodes are being produced, because I want to get this information in your hands. I really do. So download the guides, subscribe to the channels, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time, because I'm Cashflow Mike, and this is the Clear Path to Cash podcast. And as always, don't be a dumb business owner.